I'm only showing you a bowl here, but I actually have a whole pot of one of the best clam chowder recipes I've ever eaten. Come on in, I'm gonna make it with you. You're gonna love it. I'll see you on the other side. Hi, it's Grandma Roseanne, and we are going to make clam chowder. I love clam chowder. So let's get to it. I have got 1.75 pounds of russet potatoes, which I have peeled and cut into 1-inch pieces. I'm going to put them into my saucepan. And I want just enough water to cover, and this is ice cold water. And I want enough water in there, 1 inch above the potatoes. Now I'm going to put it on high on my range. Then when it starts to boil, I'm going to reduce it to a medium low and then just cook it to al dente. You don't want them to be on al dente. Now in my saucepan that took 5 cups of water, it's going to depend on the width of your pan. So don't go by cup measurement, go by 1 inch above the surface of the potatoes. So as soon as my potatoes hit the al dente, I'm going to drain them. I'm going to lay them out and let them cool until they're, fairly room temperature, which would take about 30 minutes. Now while the potatoes are cooling, we're going to start working with the rest of the ingredients. In here, I have 13 ounces of chopped clams. Now, I would love to say that everyone should be able to afford fresh clams. That's not the case. It really isn't. Now, Martha Stewart, Barefoot Contessa, they would never use a canned clam. But I want this to be not only delicious and tasty, but affordable to anyone who wants to make it. And considering most of us are not bajillionaires, we're going to use clams that have been canned, and I think we're going to be okay. I have 2 cups of onions that I'm adding to our clams. This is the strangest way to make clam chowder I've ever seen. Now I'm adding 2 teaspoons of salt. And 1 teaspoon of freshly ground pepper. Now, every recipe you have ever seen for clam chowder builds all the flavor compounds on the stove while it's cooking. We're using canned clams, and we want to minimize the time that they spend cooking. So we are starting out cold, and that way we're going to have very soft, tender clams, and not clams that represent or seem like a stone got stuck in your mouth. Now my potatoes have cooled, so I'm going to add them to the mixture. And I want to be careful not to break them up because I like clam chowder where you actually bite into the potato. I don't want mushy potatoes in there. Now we want this to blend all together. So I'm going to put this into a bag, a Ziploc bag. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. It's going to be there. It'll marinate in all of its own juices with the clams and the potatoes and the clam juice and the onions for an hour. It can be up there for 24 hours, but we want to eat. So I'm going to do it in an hour. Now, I have to be off camera for a minute because I need help getting this into the bag. My nephew is camera shy, so I'm going to have him come and hold the bag, but you can't see him, which is a shame because he's really cute. Now what we do is we pop this into the refrigerator, let it marinate for at least an hour, up to 24 hours, and I will be back and we will have soup very soon. So it's been about an hour and a half. So now we're getting ready for we're in the final lap. That's where we are. So I have 2 cans of whole baby mushrooms, and they are 5 ounces each, but I am going to drain them. Now we have our mixture that we had refrigerated. We're going to put that in our saucepan. Now we did reserve the liquid, and we want 1 cup of this. That's 1 cup right there. And if for some reason you don't quite make it to a cup, just add a little bit of water to it. We will add that to the mixture. And now I'm going to add 1½ teaspoons of table salt. I'm moving the clams away for just a couple of minutes, and I'm taking our mixture and we're going to bring this up to, the terminology is a bare simmer. If you're not certain what that means, it means just very slowly bring this up to where just the outer edge, my puppy bumped my light. So just the outer edge of the pan is just starting to slightly bubble. Do not try to turn up the heat. It will probably take 5 or 10 minutes for this to happen. That's okay. But you want to go slow up until that happens. And as this is occurring, give it a gentle stir so that the potatoes are nothing that's sticking to the bottom. So while this is creating its magic, we're going to get the next ingredients ready to go. This recipe calls for 2 cups of light, heavy cream. I've never seen that in my whole life. So I think they figured we probably never had seen it. So if you want to do 1½ cups of heavy cream and 1/2 cup of whole milk, we have light, heavy cream. Who would have ever known? Our clams are ready, our whipping cream is ready, and we're getting 2 tablespoons of butter ready as well. All right, we brought it up to a bare simmer, and then I reduce the heat and I let it cook very slowly on a medium-low, and that was probably 5 minutes. Now then we're going to add our cream. The clams. So very slowly now we're going to bring this back up so our soup is hot, because we introduced some room temperature item and a refrigerated item. So we want it to be hot again. It's still pretty liquidy. And I like chowder a little bit thicker than that. So I have 2 tablespoons of instant mashed potatoes. Again, off heat. And just the temperature of the liquid in there will thicken this up very nicely. Now, just while this is finishing the thickening part of it and getting that butter to melt nicely, I had such a fabulous recipe for clam chowder. It was one of the best I've ever eaten, and I lost the recipe. I'm not sure how you lose recipes. I mean, it's not like you go out and take a recipe with you. I have no idea how that happened, but for a very long time, I have really tried to find a recipe that was as good as the one I had. And this is looking really good at this point. Let's see how we have. Oh yeah, we have thickened quite nicely there. Whoa! If you want it thicker than that, put in another tablespoon. But for my palate, I think this is fine. All right, time to taste test it. So hopefully this will replace the recipe I had for so many years. It's better than the one I had. It's better than the one I lost. The clams are so tender. And it's because we did it in a very slow process. And marinating all of those ingredients, I've never done that to a soup before. Marinating them for, I actually had them there for 2 hours, but you can have them up to 24 hours. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I will leave ingredients below for you. Please, if you like clam chowder, give this a try, because it is superb. And when we're using canned clams, it's very affordable for everybody. So thank you so much for coming. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, hit the bell, come back. I love having you with me. I am going to go have a very nice dinner of clam chowder. Thank you. Bye.